Hey guys, welcome to Life with the Lamperts, our first ever podcast.
So bear with us. It'll be a rough one.
Yes, bear with us. I think what we want to kind of just do with these podcasts, one, we're going to bring you through all aspects of our life. Marriage,
Up until this point.
Yeah, marriage, kids, our careers. Mm-hmm. We're very young parents and we started our careers pretty young. So we're excited to kind of share that with you guys, kind of give some advice to those going through it. Heading down that road, we're going to go ahead and just kind of give you guys on this episode a little bit about us and how we got here.
Yeah.
I'm Courtney Lampert.
I'm Josh Lampert.
And we are high school sweethearts. Married.
Almost 10 years. Well, we just finished our 9th.
Yeah.
10 years will be in December 17th.
Yep. Good job.
10 years 10 years this year. So the big 10.
Yeah. We have two little girls, B and Emma.
Yeah.
B is 7 and Emma is 5.
They both have very outgoing personalities.
Yes. If you follow us on any social media account, you've seen them. And so they are very, very outgoing. I don't even know how they got that way.
I mean, Emma's shy at first.
She is. But B is very, very outgoing.
Yes. Yeah.
And
she's excited. When they do hop on here.
Yeah.
B's way more excited than Emma is right now.
Yeah. As he just mentioned, we will be bringing our little minions on to kind of give you guys...
Every now and again, not all the time.
Give you guys an insight on them and let their personalities shine through the podcast as well. So let's take them way back.
Way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are high school sweethearts, but Josh and I met in 4th grade up here in North Idaho. We didn't know it, but prior to actually meeting in 4th grade, our parents kind of followed each other around in their early adult.
They never crossed paths, like they didn't know each other, but they did, like she said, they followed each other through like Seattle.
Then they went to Boise together.
Yep.
And then from Boise, we were about probably...
I think we were in the same school district. I think we just went to different schools. According to our parents, I don't exactly remember where my house was, but we were within blocks of each other.
And then he moved up here.
In 2nd grade.
In 2nd grade, and then I moved up here in 4th grade, which is where we met.
Yep.
And it was not love at first sight.
Well, it never is. Not in elementary school.
Not in elementary school.
That stuff doesn't count.
No, it doesn't actually happen like the movies.
No. And since we were young when we met each other, it wasn't a solid, like, through high school of, like, us dating. It was a typical high school relationship where, I mean, it lasts a couple months and it young and dumb type stuff. Senior year, I think, is when we got serious.
4th grade, we were mainly just friends. You can't even say we were really dating. And then...
No one dates in elementary school.
No one dates in elementary school.
It's a little schoolgirl, schoolboy crush type stuff.
How many people have crushes on me? We hear that all the time now.
Can't say that, especially when our 2nd grader is already saying, I got a crush on so-and-so.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Throughout high school, we were just kind of on and off. I think just trying to figure out life.
You don't really know what you want to do.
Those 4 years it's like such a big growth period for people that...
Absolutely.
And then Josh signed up for the military right before we graduated.
Well, it wasn't right before. It was probably halfway through the school year.
Okay.
Yeah.
You told me right before we graduated. Sat me down in a Mexican restaurant and was like, I'm leaving.
It was either you come with me or... you stay, and probably this won't work.
I know, we did say that. We were like, if I don't end up going with him, we probably wouldn't have stuck together.
Probably not. If either of us went to college, it probably would have not worked out.
Just for the fact that you just have so much more growth going on, and I just feel like we had a lot of people saying, you guys aren't going to make it. And so we had to beat the odds on our own.
Right.
But he gave me the ultimatum. You either come or you stay, and I said, cool.
She stayed, and then for the next 3 months, she was begging me for a ring on the finger.
Yeah. I'm like, you gave me an ultimatum, so I'm going to give you one. You marry me or...
Yeah. But I had to make her wait. I didn't give in to her, are you going to ask me, are you going to ask me, are you going to ask me? And then, obviously she was waiting for it, so it wasn't necessarily a surprise.
Yeah, he's learned now, because now I don't have to wait for anything, I just ask. Yeah. August 17th, we took a family trip over to my grandfather's property on Whidbey Island. He has 4 houses up on the bay there, and we could walk down to the ocean, and he tried to surprise me.
I didn't surprise you.
Yeah.
I mean, I sent you away with our friend to go get ice cream while me and my buddy set up I didn't even have anything planned. I just went down there and started putting rocks together.
Well, and there was a wedding that had just happened on the beach right there. And so it was already set up.
Yeah.
So it was really
like
cool.
the altar or whatever you call it.
Yep.
Yeah. There was one already set up there, which was
perfect.
Yeah. It kind of was worked out, which was kind of weird. And then I created a heart out of shells and rocks, and then put in "Will you marry me" inside of it. And then while she's looking for ice cream, I spent that entire time walking the beach trying to find like the perfect shell to put the ring in, since I didn't have like the ring box. And she came down and
I still have that shell to this day.
Yeah.
So that was the start of, I think, our solid relationship. And then literally not even a month later, he took off to boot camp.
Yeah.
So
it was September 13th.
Yep.
So a little less.
We spent the next 3 months of our lives totally separate, couldn't even talk. We were writing letters back and forth to each other.
Trying to plan a wedding while I'm at boot camp.
That was very stressful. Yeah. And I always say if I could go back and redo it, I would have eloped with him, because
absolutely.
I would never. And I'm sure so many women or girls go through this that they end up going, why did I even plan a wedding? Yeah. Like,
I would have much rather spent more money on the honeymoon.
Same. I got so stressed out that even down to the day, I am so glad I married you, but I would never go through that again.
And now, granted, me being away and stuff probably made it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
In retrospect, we both agreed I would have eloped 100%.
Yep. And if our girls, when they go way down the road to get married, if they want to elope, we'll support both sides. But
let's just say elope. And then if you want to have your wedding, your big dream wedding later on in life, then for a 10-year anniversary or something, you want to have that big ass wedding.
Go for it.
You're more, hopefully you're doing better at that point in life.
Yeah.
To where you can do it. It's just sometimes it's not feasible at the first time at that moment. Yeah.
So he was able to come home right after boot camp for a couple weeks. And then we picked a day for our wedding, obviously back in August. But it was kind of weird because he proposed.
Yeah. We didn't even think about it.
No, we did not plan this at all. Yeah. He proposed on August 17th. And 17 is like my number. My soccer jersey when I was in high school, it's just always been kind of my lucky number. And so I was like, we want to get married on December 17th. It landed right in the time frame that he was able to be home. And I was like, wait a second. You proposed August 17th. So it ended up being exactly 4 months later that we ended up tying the knot.
Yeah. And like she said, I did not even plan for it.
Yeah. So, and then because we only had 2 weeks together, we ended up just staying local here in Idaho for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
And we went to the Pleasure Guest Ranch, which if you live in Idaho or if you're visiting Idaho, I highly recommend going up to the Pleasure Guest Ranch.
It's super cool.
Yeah. It was really neat and romantic for a honeymoon. We've even taken our kids back there a couple of times.
It was romantic for a honeymoon for the aspect. Yes, there's rooms, I believe, inside the actual ranch itself, like above where you eat.
I think so.
But there's also your own individual cabins that you can rent out.
Yeah.
And they're super cute. It was a good time. And the dinners, it's like a big old family style dinner where everyone kind of eats together in the main room. And then they play live music every now and again. And
And
it was a cool experience.
You have a sleigh ride you get to go on. So we went on a sleigh ride. And it's just a very at home, it's totally us, like at home feel.
Yeah.
And so it worked out absolutely perfect. And so we had that literally the next day after our wedding. And then Josh took off again. So we spent another, how long after that?
I think it was like another 3 or 4 months that we spent separated, just because my schooling, I was on standby for like a month. And then my schooling, I think, took 2 or 3 months. It was right around that 3-4 months time frame just for the schooling. And then I think there was another month or so trying to get a house, get you moved down there. So probably in total, probably another 5 months separated.
And then I moved down there. So our first 4 years of marriage, we probably only spent about a year and a half together.
Yeah.
Because Josh was in between going to the military, getting in. We did 2 deployments together. And then he finally got out after 4 years.
Yeah.
So we also had our first baby in the military. Yeah. And then got pregnant with our second while he was kind of in that exit of the military.
Yeah.
So
funny story with our first one too. So I've already deployed at this point, and she goes in for her first checkup, and the nurse actually looks at her and goes, "Who's the father?" Because she told the nurse that I was deployed, And so the nurse kind of got the thought that she was cheating on me, but
then Jody.
Yeah.
If I could count how many times I had like an experience with a nurse that I was like, really? What did you just say?
Yeah.
That was the first of multiple. So yeah,
it was pretty funny.
I was like,
when she told me about it.
I was with him before he just left.
From there, the first like year of military was a struggle too. There was times where Courtney would literally, like, I would have left for work already, and then she would call me on her way to work and goes, I don't know if I'll make it to work because of her gas tank was so low.
Yeah.
And when you first start in the military, you don't make a whole lot. Even with a spouse, because you get that extra little bit of money, whatever. But you don't make a whole lot. And we were literally living
off of credit cards just to make
paycheck. Yeah. There was times where we couldn't even pay for gas.
No, we were just like, you know what? We're just going to see if it's okay. Yeah. And we started at the bottom. Basically, we've built our life up from just working our butts off.
Which, don't get me wrong, I look back and it made us grow up by hitting basically rock bottom. And it was definitely a life experience that kind of wakes you up.
Well, and I wouldn't even say it was rock bottom. I just think that everyone has to start somewhere.
It was rock bottom for us. Like, we barely making it by the skin of our teeth. It was... Yeah. And then before our first baby, we did miscarry our first one too. Yes.
So we've kind of been through so many different aspects.
In a short amount of time.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that was all in our first year of marriage.
Yeah.
And we got pregnant and then he took off. So my first pregnancy...
All up until about 8 months.
8 months.
7, 8 months.
Yeah. Around there.
And then I came home and I was able to be with you.
Yep, for the last little month of it. You got to skip all the bad stuff. I'm like, you don't even know what it's like having me pregnant. All the morning
sickness and stuff. Yeah, I missed all that.
So then it was nice because he was able to be home for a year. So B got to be with her daddy for the whole first year of her life, which was good. But it's also, I feel like 1 to 2 is the year where you really make that connection.
Right. When I was gone for basically that entire year.
Yep. He ended up deploying during her whole 1 to 2.
Now, we were still able to FaceTime here and there, so I still got to see her.
Yeah.
Since my second deployment was on ship, and so communication was very limited to emails.
We would go weeks without having a conversation.
Yeah. And then there was times where I could get on a phone call if it wasn't taken up, but that was rare.
Yeah.
And typically for emergency uses.
Yeah. Yep. We did have one emergency during the time frame where B burnt her hand, and I had to get a hold of his upper, what do you call it? Like
my higher up.
Your higher up.
Staff sergeant or whatever.
I had to get a hold of his wife just to have her call her husband to get a hold of him.
I had to go down chain of command, obviously. And then, I got notified that B burnt her hands. And when I got told, they didn't know what was happening. All I got told was like, hey, something's wrong with your kid. Yeah. And that was very worrisome. But
yeah, because by the time I got a hold of her, we didn't even know how severe it was. And she ended up with 3rd and 4th degrees burns all over her hands, which even when we went to the specialist, he's like, it happens and she'll have no scarring because she's so young. And so it was a crazy experience, but she got through it. And it was the first of many. Yeah,
B was definitely our clumsy kid. Yeah.
We ended up in the ER so many times.
Yes.
So Josh's last deployment, I also started getting my real estate license. And so I moved back home to North Idaho to kind of be here with B, get my real estate license. And we knew when
she was doing night school.
Yep, I did night school. So I would be mommy during the day and then would spend a few hours at night going to school so that I could pass it all. And we knew that when Josh was getting home, you had less than a year. So we
skinned by the skin of our teeth to get that first house.
Yeah, which we bought our first house the last year that Josh was before he was getting out, because if you are in the military, basically when you get out, they count you as having no income.
You're unemployed.
And so you have to look at buying a house a year prior to actually getting out if you want to own a home or when you get out. And so we did that, and we ended up being another year apart just so that we could.
So even though I got deployed, she came down, met me at home for the homecoming, and then she stayed for a week or 2, I think.
Yep.
And then went back home for my remaining 8 months, I think it was.
And then found out we were pregnant with number 2.
Yeah. But she stayed home because we did have that home being built. And so she wanted to deal with that. And then at the same time we were talking with each other, like, well, it just doesn't make any sense for you to just move down here and then us to move right back.
Yeah.
However, she did come down and visit once a month.
And it was another basically 6 months of my pregnancy that Josh was
That's true. Yeah.
separated from me.
I skipped out on both pregnancies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he never knew what the morning sickness in the beginning was or anything like that.
Hey, I was there for the deliveries. What matters most.
So basically our first 4 years of marriage was like military life, which if you've done military life, like
a lot happens in that 4 years. You do a lot of growing up.
Well,
you really do.
I feel like that's a thing with marriage too. Your first 4 years is a ton of growing up and figuring each other out and living together. Yeah. And then right after Josh got out of the military, he became a personal trainer.
Well, not right after. I helped my cousin install flooring for that first year. And then I became a personal trainer for the next 3 years, which was nice because it was flexible, which allowed Courtney to dive deep into her real estate and was able to excel.
Yeah, I was able to really focus and be a full-time agent. I feel that's a big thing when becoming a real estate agent. It's doable to be a part-time agent, but it's extremely hard because your clients kind of need you 24/7.
Right.
And it's not like a 9-to-5 job. I literally work the moment I get up in the morning.
5 a.m. She's on it. She's doing her marketing and for the first hour and a half, 2 hours of the morning. And then there's times where she's not done until 8, 9 o'clock.
Especially during the summers because we do a lot of showing during that time frame. So it was nice, especially with having 2 babies, being able to be like, hey, I got to go show. He's going to be daddy for that time. And we're still pretty flexible with that and we're still able to do that. But I'm now 6 years into real estate and Josh is now done being a personal trainer.
I'm trying to move on to firefighting, which I should be doing the academy at the end of this month, which will be exciting because that's one of my final steps to be able to start putting applications in to the departments around here. So
yeah, and I think he went out of the military, and I feel a lot of military guys can relate to this, where you're just like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah, that's 100% true. I didn't know what to do, so like I said, I helped my cousin out with flooring, and then we started doing macros with a friend of ours, and she was like, you know what, hey, I'm opening up this gym, I would love to have you jump on board, I need trainers. And so I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do anyway. So I went and got my trainer and I helped her out for the next 3 years. And then I just kind of wanted to do something else. I missed the camaraderie of the military. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you just become really close with everyone. And so I feel like we're looking for that again when he joins the firefighting academy.
The family aspect of like the military, of having those close friends that would basically, I mean, it's going to sound morbid, but they would die for you. And that's kind of what I miss, is that close-knit group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to say, we did find that a little bit in the gym because, I mean, our gym family
absolutely.
is super close.
Yeah. And we still are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We do game nights and all of that with our gym family. But I feel like we also we have a ton of goals that we're heading for, getting out of our 20s and into our 30s. And so we were like, how are we going to go ahead and do these? And we're huge goal planners. We sit down every single year and we're like, what do we want to do this year? And what are we going to do in 5 years?
Yeah, we have 5-year goals. We have goals set until we're basically, we have like these steps that we want to take to achieve what we want to be at when we're 50 years old. Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like we're a little bit different. And when we look at other couples, which all couples are different, but we could spend every waking hour together. We're very similar.
We don't even have to be saying anything. Just the presence is enough. We can just be sitting in the living room, not doing a damn thing, movies on or not, honestly. Yeah. We can just be sitting there with each other and I'm totally fine.
But the moment I'll leave for work, he'll text me and be like, are you coming home yet?
Yeah, I'm bored. When she leaves, I get bored. And I'm just like, ugh.
But we choose careers that we are kind of separated from each other. So it's kind of funny because I feel like you get to that point where we never are getting rid of that honeymoon stage because we're always like, he's going to end up being, once he actually gets hired on the fire station. Yeah. Everyone's moving to 40 hours on, 96 off by the sounds of it from what I've come across, which means I'll be gone for 2 days, home for 4 days, which will still be nice because that will still allow her to be flexible with her real estate. And then at the same time, those 2 days I'm gone,
kind of bring it back and be more mommy time while I'm gone those days.
Yeah, which I've missed. I've taken a lot. This last probably 3 or 4 years, I've really dove into real estate and spent so much of my time building up my company to what it is now. And so I'm excited to not scale back because I definitely can't do that.
Right.
But also take a little bit of time and be a mom again.
Take those 2 days to kind of slow down a little bit while I'm gone at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about us. We are excited to share our journey with you guys as we go along this. I think our next podcast, we are going to be bringing on our 2 little minions. They're super excited.
We'll see if Emma talks. She's not too excited, but B's super excited to talk with you and just be on camera because she's very photogenic.
She's extremely photogenic. But if you guys have questions or kind of topics that you want us to go over, feel free to drop them down below. Also subscribe and we will
follow, like.
Yep, all of the above.
Or not. I mean,
don't.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat.
We will keep you going along our journey and thank you.
Thank you guys.